joining out there. So I will ask everyone, please go ahead and mute yourselves.
One.
Myself and Kelsey are going to do our best to try to keep folks muted during the first part of the call. We are going to open things up towards the end for Q&A. And as we're going through these slides, please, again, feel free to put any questions you may have in the chat, and I'll make sure we circle back around to them before the end. With that being said, really excited to introduce, some of you out there know Mr. Jamie Sarno, who has helped us with some Aetna training in the past. He is going to join us today to walk us through the new improved Recovery Care Choice product that is launching on 2/10. Again, I'll say that one more time. On February 10th, it is going to launch in most states that currently have Recovery Care today. There are a few states that are going to be delayed, which we are going to cover on this presentation as well. So you guys will know if you are in one of those states where it's going to be coming a few weeks later. With that said, actually, Ron, anything you want to add before we get things kicked off?
Let me just give everybody a quick update on the 2-week promo. We're just over 1.6 million. We need to get to 2 million to double the numbers. We should be able to do that if everybody keeps pushing, and I think we're going to be in good shape to double the payouts. I'm excited about this new short-term care plan, and that's going to kick off, as Jacob mentioned, next Tuesday. So I'll turn it over to whoever's going to start it, Jacob.
Jamie, if you want to kick things off, take it away.
Thank you, Jacob. I'm looking at all these familiar faces. It's good to see everyone. And appreciate everyone being here. I'll shut my camera off. I know it's distracting looking at me through the whole thing. But no, let me just say this first and foremost. This plan, this new plan, Recovery Care Choice, is from what all of you have said you needed and wanted over these years to get us to this point. So thank yourselves for building such a great plan, because this is going to blow it out of the water. You guys are fantastic at what you do, and this is just going to enhance all of that. So I can't wait to see what you do with it. So moving forward, I'm going to minimize this little box here. Maybe I'm not. All right, here we go.
All right, everyone, listen up. We're adding Aetna's new Recovery Care Plan. It has first day coverage, affordability, inflation protection, and your clients can purchase over $300,000 in benefits, and it solves the hospital observation problem our clients keep running into. Let's make it happen.
All right, you're going to have to put up with my AI Sora videos I've made. I'm going to post most of these on LinkedIn as soon as it launches. So I thought that was a good one. Anyway, we're going to move on.
All right, everyone.
Oh, let's move. There we go. So let's talk about this first. Long-term care, short-term care. All right. From the beginning, there had to be a way to sort through this, right? And this is from NAIFA, and the difference is any benefit that has 365 days or more is considered long-term care. Any nursing benefit less than 365 days is considered short-term care. Otherwise, they can have the exact same benefits, and they do. And you're going to see that in this. You'll even see extra benefits long-term care doesn't have. So very exciting. And this is something that I know you all know this. I think it's just important that we say it, that long-term care, nothing replaces long-term care insurance. When the risk is your financial ruin, there's nothing that can replace that. Short-term care is not a replacement for long-term care, but it is a valuable alternative when long-term care is out of reach because of health reasons or financial reasons. And we've all been there. We've learned what this plan is. You all sell it better than anyone. But it's important to make that distinction, because a lot of times people might think the lines get blurred. Well, you're not promoting long-term care. No, in a lot of situations, long-term care is going to be the best. But what can they afford, and can they pass the health underwriting? And I'm a big believer that something is better than nothing. And when you see the benefits in this plan for Recovery Care Choice, you're going to see that it can do a whole lot, even a whole lot more than it even could before. So let's talk about this one too, because I think this is very important. And this came from just a few conversations. And this is something we don't talk about a whole lot, but I think it's very important. You really do not want to replace an existing policy that's already in force. And you see exactly why there. Pre-existing conditions are so important. And if you want to know when they're so important, it's when they get sick, right? We hope and pray they make it through their 180 days, 6 months when they first take out the policy, that they have no pre-existing, because that just ruins the relationship when you have to say, well, Mrs. Jones, remember I told you you had that pre-existing for the blood pressure. That's not comforting to them. But that's just what's going to happen, as far as selling a new plan, everyone goes through pre-existing. But if you replace an existing plan that's been through its pre-existing conditions with a new plan, because you're going to be tempted to do that. There's a lot of extra benefits on this, but remember, you can add to an existing plan, but I would not replace it. You do not want to take that risk. And I made sure at the bottom, the risk and liability are on all of you. I was always careful not to do something that would get me in trouble just because, well, it's going to be clean and easy for the client. Everything's going to be in one policy. This is better for them. I can convince myself of that. But listen, that first 6 months, you should be sweating because anything could happen. And you do not want the family coming in, seeing where you replaced the plan, and you had good intentions, but that's not the way it's going to be viewed if they fall in that predicament there. So I just want to say that, get that out of the way. I know you guys will do all the right things. And it's important to know this, what indemnity means in a short-term care product. I get asked this all the time. You guys know it, but a lot of people don't. That an indemnity actually pays a set amount that's chosen by your client and by yourself. And it's the example here of $700 per day. It's going to pay $700 a day no matter what the nursing home is charging. If they're charging $800 a day, it's not going to pay that. It'll pay the $700. If they're charging $500 a day, it's going to pay $700. It's always going to pay the fixed amount that they chose. Does not matter if someone else pays the bill. Doesn't matter if Medicare pays. Doesn't matter if a major medical pays. It's going to pay its bill directly to the insured or a facility that they designate. And remember, all the payments, all the benefit from this is non-taxable. The cash can be used any way they like. And I think that's very important to know. It's not up to $700. It is $700 if that's what you gave your client. And again, if you have questions, as Jacob said, just please put them in the chat and we'll hit all of them. Now, what are the triggers to use Recovery Care Choice? The same exact triggers as they've always been. Nothing has changed there at all. If you cannot perform at least 2 of these 6 ADLs, you qualify. Same. Or cognitive impairment, you qualify. So same 2 triggers, nothing's changed. You all know how to maneuver around that and what that takes. And I think it's important to point out here, with long-term care, the carriers that are still out there doing business, they have third parties that determine, if you cannot perform 2 of the 6 ADLs or if you're cognitively impaired. Aetna does not do that. They have no doctors on staff, no third party, no nurses. They go off of what the insured's doctor says. If they say that they can't perform the ADLs or they're cognitively impaired, that's good enough. And that's important. So here we go. This is the base plan. Everything here is included above this line here, and I want you to see. Amazingly, now the benefit goes from $400 max all the way up to $700 per max. Same thing, $10 increments. You can get that price right where you need it, what they can afford and what they need. So that's huge. Same periods of care, 90 days, 180 days, 270 days, and 360 days. Nothing has changed. Elimination period. Now, guess what? This has changed. They never wanted to say elimination period before because it sounded like long-term care. They said waiting period. Now it's called elimination period. They're coming around with the language. And that's 0, 20, and 100. For all of you that know me, I'm a huge advocate of 0 day. You're never going to go wrong with that. Remember what we said, indemnity plans pay no matter who else pays or what's owed. They're going to get paid from day one if they have a 0 elimination period. And I urge everyone, it's worth the extra money. I think it's more important than extending the time is to have first aid coverage. That's my opinion. I think people, when they use their plans, they forget about elimination periods and deductibles, and they feel like they've been let down when it doesn't pay the way they thought it would. Now, this is all included in the base price. There's a new prescription drug benefit. This is a new benefit. Generics, $10, brand name, $25, $300 annual maximum. You might go, Jamie, that's not a lot of money. So let me just say this. This is one of those it's not a rider. It's one of those benefits in the base plan that they can use without being sick. I know I take a cholesterol medication. I could collect on this, and let me show you why. Doesn't require facility stay or home care stay. Doesn't require ADLs or cognitive. Not subject to pre-existing conditions. That means your clients can start receiving benefits off of this right away. It's a great reason to reach back out to your clients as that goodwill, as the trusted advisor during the year and say, Mr. Jones, have you had any prescriptions? They're going to say, oh, yes. I personally, I wouldn't even pitch this part of it, because when you're buying something, $300 doesn't sound like a lot, but let me tell you, when you call them during the year and say, oh no, you got $300 coming to you, they're going to love you, they're going to love the plan, and they're going to renew that plan because they know it pays without having to get a major illness and end up in a nursing facility. So to me, that means everything, that you do not have to worry about it being rejected because of pre-existing conditions. Now, bed reservation. Sorry, some of my graphics are a little messed up here. Bed reservation. We kind of always breeze over this. It's in recovery care as it sits today, and it's also in recovery care choice. But remember, a lot of times you'll have a client that's in a nursing facility. They might be in the recuperating, and they have a health issue where they might have to be rushed to the hospital. This is going to pay for that bed while they're not in that bed. They might be in the hospital for a week. Their bed reservation in a nursing facility or assisted living facility is going to continue to be paid by Recovery Care Choice. So that's another good benefit to have. Now, this is something that's gigantic. Medicare Part B excess charges. For those of you that don't know, Medicare is not allowed to charge more than 15% over what they approve. Those are considered excess charges. And when you look at, let me show you here. When you look at a chart for Medicare supplements, you're going to see, look up excess charges, second column from the bottom, Part B excess charges. You see Plan F pays it, Plan G pays it. Lots of agents have always been apprehensive about offering a plan in just for this reason. Well, guess what? What's going to happen is any carrier, can be any carrier's plan. It's going to come in if excess charges are charged. And most of the time they're not going to be. But if they are, guess what? Plan in, you don't have to worry about it as long as you pair it with a recovery care choice. And it's in the base plan. So you know what that means. Just I call it a bare bones policy. I would never sell anyone less than $100 a day, 90-day plan, first day coverage. A 65-year-old pays about $17 a month for that. Most of you know that, very low. You can add this to a plan in, and you're taking care of a lot of things. You're taking care of observation, and you're taking care of excess charges. So I think this is going to be very popular once people find out, because there's no one else that comes in and picks up excess charges. Now, let's see here. Oh, I've got one more thing to show you. Oh, it'll come in after this. Sorry, I have another video to show you. So remember this. Now, instead of being 50 to 89, age 40 to 89. So we've lowered it. We've listened to what you all were wanting, and 40 years old, it's going to start. So I think that's a game changer also. And hopefully you guys do too. Also, benefits are paid. This is the same, directly to you, the insured, or a medical provider you designate. Benefits are paid in addition to any other healthcare insurance coverage, including Medicare. Benefits are non-taxable. The insurance policy is guaranteed renewable as long as the premiums are paid on time. That was my closing after everything was said and done, application, everything was finished. I would remind them, Mrs. Jones, this plan is guaranteed renewable for life. Just make sure your premiums get paid. That's why we put you on the bank draft. And you don't ever have to worry about that lapsing on you. And that, leaving them with that, I think made all the difference in the world for buyer's remorse. All of these things, you know how it is. It doesn't matter. You could have done the best job in the world. Some clients, they just feel, you know what, did I do the right thing? I think these little things like this, being guaranteed renewable for life, non-taxable, you decide who gets paid, who doesn't. These are all things that are a big benefit to them.
So your Medicare supplement sales have shot through the roof.
Yes, sir, they have.
But why Plan N? Aren't you worried about the excess charges?
Not anymore. I add Aetna's new recovery care plan to every MedSup sale. It covers the excess charges and it covers nursing home stays, even if the client was in hospital observation.
All right, there's my latest video. So let me tell you this. These plans, so each state with this number of riders, you're not going to find every rider in every state. The majority of these are going to look identical. There are going to be some one-offs. I know Missouri is a one-off. Missouri doesn't like to let you put any riders on. There's a couple of more states, but it's all state specific. So this is going to cover everything we're talking here. 98% of them are going to be just like I'm showing you. But you need to check. It's going to be in the outline of coverage or the brochure for your specific state that you're selling in. So please, I would not pitch this to anyone until the launch date so you can verify it in writing what it's going to do and not do in your state. Remember, Aetna wanted all of these approved. It's painstaking sometimes because they have to file it, wait for it to come back with the changes, and then Aetna will try their best to get them back in there if they just change a couple of things. If it's not there, it's not because Aetna did not want it there. It's just because the state would not approve it. So please check that. But we're going to go through these. Adult daycare. We heard you loud and clear on this one. Really comes in handy. We had this happen at our office manager, her mom couldn't be really on her own. So she would drop her mom off at adult daycare, pick her up at the end of the day. And it really did save everyone. It gave her mom care, helped relieve the stress of her daughter, and we got our work done. I know that might sound selfish, but it's not. Everyone is happy there. But adult daycare, choice of 50, 100, 150, 30 visits per policy year, requires 2 ADLs or cognitive impairment. Now, home modification, $2,500 lifetime maximum. It's exactly what it sounds like. If they cannot perform, the 2 ADLs, cognitive impairment, whether it be nursing home, assisted living, or home care, they qualify automatically for the $2,500 to fix up their home. And they do not need home repair bills, construction bills, nothing like that. If they use their policy, they're pretty much going to get the $2,500. And it'll be labeled as a line item benefit. Again, my graphics a little messed up here, but inflation rider, this was a big one that we've heard for a while. And guess what? It's not just 3 or 5, it's both. You can get 3 or 5% simple or compound interest. Now, this is important to note. I think I've got it here. This is only on the base nursing facility benefit, not the rider. So that means the home care rider is not going to receive any inflation protection on it, and none of the riders attached to it. So it's really just going to be for the nursing home and assisted living daily benefit. So just remember that. Also, there's a mental health choice of $25, $50, $75, or $100, 20 visits per policy year. Doesn't require facility or home care use, doesn't require 2 or more ADLs, especially now with mental health. It's important. We know that through COVID, a lot of elderly that just are alone. It's important that that is placed in there. And again, it's a rider. You don't have to add it, but it's in there. Typically, you would find mental or nervous disorders would be an exclusion or limitation in the policy. They wanted to fix that. If you have the rider, you've got the coverage. Pet boarding. I love this benefit. So you can see choice of $50, $75, $100. It's 30 days per period of care. So they go into a nursing home, home health care, assisted living, they're going to be able to board their pet with this. And, you know, someone asked me the other day, well, what do you suggest? Well, what's the benefit amount you suggest? And the more that we talked through it, I kept thinking, you know what, on all of these, adult daycare, pet boarding, I think I'd pick the middle of the row as the benefit of choice. I know a couple of people I asked, how much does it cost to board their pet per day when they go out of town? And it was all in the $70 range. So $75, I think, is a good sweet spot. Same with adult daycare, I think $100. I just think middle of the row, you can't go wrong. Again, this is what I think. You don't have to agree. So here we go. Oh, doesn't require a facility or home care stay. That would be outpatient rehab. Of course, you're outpatient. How could it? But choice of 15 or 30 visits per policy year, choice of 50, 100, 150. This is in the hospital indemnity flex plan with Aetna. And if you all have ever offered that to your clients. It's a very inexpensive rider. I did not have all the rider premiums. If you're going to ask that, I do not have those today. My apologies. But by Monday, you're going to be able to quote anything you like. Doesn't require 2 ADLs or cognitive impairment either. So outpatient rehab, I think it's great because the next benefit, hospital, is no longer embedded in the base plan. Remember how it had $10 a day that was on each plan? I never liked that either because, you know, they get the policy, they open up the policy schedule page and it says $10 hospital. And that's always been a question of, well, why does this only pay $10? It's an unnecessary benefit unless you want them to have hospital. So now it's a separate rider. You've got $10 up to $700 per day, and you can choose. This is like the flex hospital indemnity, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You can choose any of those days in between the 3 and the 10, or 20 days. Lifetime maximum, 365 days. Observation stays, or 24 hours are paid at 50%. Observation stays are paid in full. I got to fix that slide. If it's less than 24 hours, it's 50%. If it's 24 hours or more, it's full benefit for the hospital confinement. Now, just like hip flex, home care, here we go. So thankfully, we're now up to, from that $1,200 that it currently is, will be at $2,100 weekly maximum. Your choice of weeks, 13, 26, 39, and 52. And sorry, guys, I'm trying to minimize this so I can see all my slides. There we go. Elimination period, 0 or 20 days. And again, I would give them 0. It's not going to make that big of a difference in premium. Lifetime maximum, twice the number of covered weeks. Same thing as before. It works the same way. Nursing home, assisted living work the same exact way too. Remember, we always said you got 2 buckets. And we're going to talk about that a little bit here in just a second. And let's see. There we go. Now, new benefit, friends and family benefit, 25% of home care benefit. So what does that mean? If you choose $1,000 a week for a benefit for a home health care agency to come in, if friends and family, if they'd rather have that, they're going to get paid 25% of the $1,000. Now, does that mean that they lose that $1,000 because they got 25% of it? Yes, it does. If they opt for that, for the friends or family, that's what they're going to get, is 25%. And if they use up 20 weeks of that, they're not going to have the 20 weeks of the 1,000. So to me, I like that it gives them the option, and it will make them feel good that they have that. But me personally, I think, remember, the trigger on that is 2 of the 6 ADLs, cognitive impairment, and 3 separate visits per week. And that is, you're looking at an hour duration. If they have 3 visits per week on separate days, they're going to get the full $1,000. If you gave them $2,100, they're going to get all of that. They can distribute it to friends and family, pay the visiting nurse, and I think they win both ways. But it is good to have friends and family actually spelled out in the policy, because that means a lot to them. And that does require the ADLs and the cognitive impairment. Now, they did keep in the brochure the nursing facility, all the great things that you know. This is great when you're pitching, just to be able to show what Medicare pays, and more specifically, what Medicare doesn't pay. It's very important that they know, hey, look, Medicare's only going to cover 20 days of skilled care if you're admitted to a hospital for 3 days. And it's only going to pay one type of care. Well, guess what? Recovery Care Choice is going to pay all 3 levels of care, and you do not have to be placed in a hospital. Assisted living, as you all know, Medicare pays nothing for assisted living facilities. But Recovery Care Choice will come in and pay. Same benefit as the nursing facility. Last but not least, home health care. We all know Medicare will pay for intermittent, meaning visiting nurses, and it's got to be some medically necessary physical therapy, speech therapy, respiratory therapy. It has to be one of those. And it's not going to be 24 hours. We know how limited that is. With Recovery Care Choice, you've got up to $2,100 now to have the medical and the non-medical. Remember, visiting angels. Medicare won't pay for any of that. They can hire whoever they want with that $2,100, as long as they have those 3 visits on separate days from a licensed home health care agency. Now, max benefits available per period of care, nursing facility or assisted living. So just throwing the numbers out there so you can see it. I know you all can add, but look at that benefit. If you give someone $700 per day for 360 days, $252,000. I mean, all within a year. Home care benefit, $2,100 per week, 52 weeks equals $109,200, which gives you a grand total of $361,200 that they can use. That's just in that first bucket. So amazing what can happen. You know, long-term, short-term care, but the short-term care being the duration of 360 days, it's all relative to how much they're getting per day and what that adds up to and what the nursing home costs, right? That's the way it works. So when you add all of this up, these are the projected cost of long-term care in the U.S. So if you look, nursing home, private room, most people are going to want that private room. If you figure that up at a daily amount, you'll see with Aetna Recovery Care Choice, that's $700 benefit, and current facility cost, the insured could stay in a nursing home for 663 days. Well, that adds up to more than a year. I mean, you're getting very, very close to 2 years there. So just remember that it's all relative to the cash that they get. Now look at this. Home health care, assisted living, $62,280 at a $700 benefit. They could stay up to 4 years. It was just shy of 4 years, or just shy of over 4 years. So it's at least 4 years they can get out of that, which is amazing to think they can collect all that money. They can bank the overpayment and just pay it as they need it. So it's a game changer. It really is. And I think this is a good graphic. I'll get you a better one where the letters fit in the circles, but you all can do this with AI just like I did and make a great presentation. And home health care. So when you look, and a lot of people don't realize this, if somebody actually used 24-hour care, add up 168 hours a week, you'll see 5880. That's over 20, you're looking at almost $24,000 a month, and that is exactly right. You're talking about if somebody had care for a full year, 24/7, you're looking at $250,000 today. So it is happening out there, believe it or not, but how many people could afford that? So when you look over the left-hand side, you see $700 to $800 per week, 20 hours. I use the 800. I put in the 2100. You're looking at 52.5 hours of care per week. And again, my graphic. But that's a lot of time. That can help a lot. And remember, 3 1-hour visits on separate days, you're going to your clients are going to get the 2,100 if that's what they've chose, and they can use that money any way they like. All right, here we go. Lifetime maximum equal to twice the number of covered days. I've never liked the way this is worded. It confuses me just by reading it, but we're going to do this, and we're going to make sure we do it the right way. So remember, we have two buckets, nursing facility and assisted living. You get 360 days times 2 equals 720 days. And I added it for the 700 a day. That's actually $504,000. Now, let's go home care and let's do the same thing. 52 weeks, you got 2 buckets. That's 104 weeks. Multiply it by 2,100 per week. That's $218,400 possible dollars. Now, let's see. I tried to get this concise and to the point in one sentence. The second bucket, the way you get to use the second bucket, doesn't matter how much is in the first bucket. It never matters that. The second bucket will pay any time after the first bucket is used, as long as the insured does not require care for 180 days and can perform at least 5 of the 6 activities of daily living. So basically, anytime they use bucket 1, they might use it for 5 months. They come out, they go home, they're great. They can perform at least 5 of the 6 ADLs for over 180 days, over 6 months. Their doctor certifies it. They were doing great. They have a relapse. Well, since they went over 6 months, now they have access to anything that's in bucket 2. Remember, this will pay up to 360 days each period of care. So if I used 5 months of the 12 months, what do I have left? I have 7 months left. But guess what? Since I went over 6 months, I will actually get to replenish the 5 months that I used. So picture bucket 2 pouring into bucket 1 all the way back up to the 360 level. You got a full year again. So it's not hard to use bucket 2. A lot of people think, oh, you got to use up bucket 1 totally, then you get access to bucket 2. You do not. Same way on home health care. This is a true recovery plan. It's not made to, any shenanigans. They want the benefit to be there if they need it. And if you used all the buckets, every bit of benefit that is there, it's possible you could get $722,400 in benefit. So that's a heck of a lot of benefit to use. Makes me want to go out and sell this today, but I got to wait. All right. Now, Jamie, what'd they do to the underwriting? Is it the same? It's identical. Nothing's changed. You're going to see the same thing you've always seen. They go back to 3 years, same identical questions, same identical drug list. Nothing has changed at all. They're not going to do that. No changes in underwriting, same as Recovery Care today. Now, drug list, exactly the same. You all know how it works. Lowercase are generic drugs, uppercase are brand names on that drug name list to your left. And when you get an X, and again, graphics, the X indicates that the medication that says unacceptable. Each one of these, unacceptable. Oh, my X's are no, there you go. That's right. But remember this, a condition listed means the drug is a dual use drug. So when you look at Actigol and you see the condition there says cirrhosis, if the applicant's medication use is not for the condition listed, the medication is acceptable. So remember, it's got to be not for cirrhosis. If it's for the other, you put down what it actually is for, and it will go through. Now, if you look down at Alfrin, the third from the bottom, you see that's just got an X and there is nothing. There is no condition. So that means it's a decline. Sometimes they'll say, I get a lot of phone calls. They go, Jamie, I found one. They're taking this drug, but it doesn't have a condition. I go, yeah. What do you think they're taking it for? And it never fails. They're really not taking it as a dual use drug. They're pretty on 100% with this drug list. They check it all the time. If you ever see something and you know for a fact that's a dual use drug, let me know. I take that back. Let Jacob know, and he will let Aetna know, and it'll be fixed. They'll investigate it and they'll fix it. They're always open to that if something has changed where they're using it for a different condition. So you all know this one. I added this in there. I always do. I talk about the problem with Medicare. And I have this presentation ready for the people that don't know about this. I know all of you do. Medicare still requires a 3-day prior hospital stay before skilled nursing facility confinement can start. So Medicare beneficiaries meet the 3-day rule by staying 3 consecutive days in one or more hospitals as an inpatient. Hospitals count the admission day, but not the discharge day. Time spent in the ER or in outpatient observation prior to admission does not count towards that 3-day stay. You all know the video. The lady spent $28,000 for her 20-day nursing facility stay because she was held in observation. This is still happening. And if you don't know, for 2026, the inpatient only surgeries, they have taken a lot of surgeries off that inpatient only list. So that means they're doing them outpatient now, and there's going to be more to come next year. So everything continuously changes to where it's less money for Medicare, and they push the burden onto the Medicare recipient, the insured. So make sure they all know that. And I did put a video up here because I wouldn't just see one thing. I cut out the one. Observation, there's the problem. Oh, I'm not going to show that one.
For the individuals who are affected, it really can be a crisis.
Patient advocates warn families everywhere risk huge nursing home rehab bills they don't expect.
Families are paying huge amounts of money, often upfront. Nursing homes will say they want $10,000 upfront for the first month's admission.
Okay, that's all true. Now they want, when you leave that hospital, it's already known you're in observation by the time they get to the skilled nursing facility. They will have your insured sign a document that says, if Medicare doesn't pay, you're responsible. But you need to give us $10,000, that's your entry. And if Medicare pays, that money will be refunded to you. They know darn well it's not going to be paid, and that $10,000 is gone. So it's important, don't let them go through that. Tell the story that way, because it's happening out there every day. I made one more video. This is my Sora video. Here we go.
And that's the balance for the first month.
He told me Medicare will not cover my stay and I owe $10,000 for the first month of care.
Mom, you are okay. This is exactly why your agent sold you that Aetna Recovery Care policy. Remember? It pays whether Medicare pays or not.
So there you go. That's what you want to hear. That's when you become the hero. That's when the policy pays. That's the way we all want it to work. So coming in March, this was a little bit of a delay. You all know the mobile rate tool. It is not going to have Recovery Care Choice on it until March. Aetna sends their apologies, but you're going to be able to quote it, and I'm going to show you how. You all know how this works. It's going to look the same. It's just going to say Recovery Care Choice. For anyone that's never used it, you know, it's a free app. There is no login. There is no agent number you have to put in. You can just, anybody can quote it. If somebody finds it, they can quote whatever they want to on it. But it works really, really well. It's one of the best tools out there. So you don't, the old days of carrying rate sheets are gone. And it is a little bit of a pain that it's not going to be here till March, but I will show you right here. So this is going to be active. Let's see. There it is. No, it's not supposed to say coming in March. My apologies. Let's go back. Okay. So basically this, you're going to have to log in for now until March, until the Quotes on the Go app gets loaded. But you all know how to do this. Quote and enroll. Yes, you got to power up those laptops and probably use a hotspot off your phone. But that's the only way you're going to be able to quote it for now. It's not ideal, but it works. I mean, you're going to be doing the app anyway. You can just sit there and use it as your rate finder. But just put up with that for us, and we appreciate it. Not coming in March, coming Monday. You'll be able to use it. It'll be loaded. So rates, this is what I was saying before. If you sold a base plan, 90 days, $100 per day. I didn't put zero elimination, but that's what I'm talking about here. You're looking at around $17 a month, which, like I said, you're giving them money towards observation. They just can't charge them whatever they want. It'll be in the reasonable range because insurance is covering it. And you're taking care of that 15% of excess charges on a Medicare supplement if they have that. This is something that's awesome too. There is a multi-policy discount. Add another ancillary product and receive 15% discount off the Recovery Care Choice Plans premium. Now, I've been asked this too, is, well, what if they already have a plan? What if they already have an Aetna Senior Supplemental Plan? Then they can get 15% discount on this right away. If they already have something in force and it's through Aetna Senior Supplemental, it cannot be an Aetna Medicare Advantage plan, but it can be anything sold through Aetna Senior Supplemental, hospital indemnity, life plan, any of the plans you guys are selling with Aetna Senior Supplemental, that counts. So it's 15% discount off the Recovery Care Choice, which is a great, great discount. Make sure, and this goes back to replacing an existing plan. Please, with AI now, with everything they've got going on there, they're getting a whole lot better at catching stuff like this. I just want to make sure, don't replace a plan and take the 15% discount. Because they have one active at the time, but your plan is to replace it. Please don't do a 15% discount. You do not want to be that agent on their list, please. And I know you wouldn't do that, but I'm thinking of all the pitfalls I could get into selling this plan, and that's one that I would need to watch very carefully, that I'm not double dipping, so to speak. This is, you can see right here, here's the go live initial launch, February 9th. So you're going to have this next Monday. You'll see the light purple. Those are all the states that are going live.
Jamie, real quick.
Yes.
I see 2/9 on there. Is it 2/10, Tuesday, 2/10? Or is it 2/9?
Is the 9th is Monday, isn't it?
Correct.
It should be the 9th.
Okay. Even
It
better.
should be the 9th. I'll verify for you, Jacob. I think that's when it goes live at Aetna. I think that's their go live, and they're probably, just in case there's issues, once they go live, they probably told everyone 2/10. So I would go by the 2/10 mark. You can try it at 2/9, but if they're having any kind of issues, all this is being run right now, making sure they don't, but I'm sure that's what it is. I'm showing you all the actual internal Aetna map, so that's probably what it is. That's my mistake.
Jamie, can you hear me?
Awaiting Part B approval, state approval. So you'll see the green states, that is the access charges. They did not want to launch those until they got the approval, and I think they've already gotten 3 or 4 of them in. They just weren't going to make the launch, so that'll be determined when the release date will be. But you'll see March 12th is a release date for the North Dakota, Mississippi. April 2nd for you see that, I guess that's like a light pink or salmon color, but that's April 2nd. The states that will not be filed are in black, and those are the same ones that never approve it. But you'll see the gray, the light gray, researching to see if product can now be filed. They're wanting to file in those states. The answer is probably going to be no, but they're going to do everything they can to try to get into those states and see, what does the plan have to look like for you to approve it? And they may strip it down, but, something would be better than nothing. And most of the time they'll take it if it's worth doing. So we'll keep you up to date on that one. And that is really it. Now, I know I'm going a little long. We still have some time for questions though.
Perfect. Jamie, I got a list of questions.
Yes.
We are running short on time, everyone. We are going to go a couple minutes over, so feel free to stick around so that we can try to get through these. If you are not able and you got to jump, don't worry. We are capturing all these questions and going to put an FAQ together and work with the education team and field leadership to get that out to you guys ASAP. So that being said, I'm just going to rapid fire through them in the order that they were initially put in there. Jamie, help me out here. A couple of these I know, but I think you know a little bit better. On the drug benefit, if they fill a 3-month supply, is that counted as 1 or 3 prescriptions?
Well, they're only going to get up to a certain amount on one claim. So if it's a generic, but it's 3 months, they're still only going to get the lower amount. So yes, that's not going to pay that for 3 months. Great question.
Sorry, just a question on what
they're not going to try to determine what a 3-month supply is in claims versus the other. That's exactly why they did not want to do the drug benefit as far as a pre-existing. They don't want to have to order records. They don't want to have to even think about it. If they get it in and it's clean cut, where it is 1 month, one claim with 1 prescription amount on there, they just are going to pay that. They're not going to separate it out. That was a decision they made, that they didn't want to do that. Another decision they made is that $2,500 home modification benefit. They did not want claims coming in that had, this guy hammered this up and built a ramp and did that. They just said, you know what, we're not going to do that. If they qualify for the plan, we're just going to send them $2,500. They can use it whatever way they want to. So it's to make it easier on them and really trying to make it easier on the client. So I know that that's not ideal for that, but that's the way they're doing it.
Next question we had, can you explain the lifetime maximum to twice the number of covered days? I knew you had a nice slide on that you went over, but
Yep.
maybe just a real high level, go through that again. I think the most important piece on there is the need to come out of care and be able to perform 2 or more ADLs for 180 days.
That's
It is
it.
not then just not filing a claim for 180 days is not the same thing.
Correct. They've cracked out. They know now what to ask for, what to get. Anything that you've seen go through in the past, just say a prayer, thank them. But now they're looking for everything. And you want them You want them to pay on what they're supposed to pay, and you don't want them to pay on what they're not supposed to pay. The key to this plan is we want the rates to stay the same, right? You all want the rates to stay the same. I know the client wants them to stay the same. And just so you know, and I'll answer that question, I've been asked to, hey, are the rates going to go up because of this inflation rider? They have no plans on rates going up because of any rider. It's still the same game plan. If Aetna ever starts losing money on this plan, you could see increases in the future, but that's it. But that's been the game plan from day one. So none of the riders are there to make the price go up every few years. No, that's not the case. But okay, let's talk about it real quick. So the 2 buckets of care. I go into the nursing facility today, my 360 days. It's whatever amount of time you want to pick. I said 5 months. I'm in there for 5 months. I come out. If I come, I have 7 months left, right, of my 12 months. I'm counting the 360 days. We're just saying is 12 months. If I use 5 of those, I've got 7 months left. If I go back in that nursing facility within 6 months, I have a relapse a month later, 2 months later, 4 months later, 5 months later, I go back in that nursing facility, I really only have 7 months left. I'm still in that 1 bucket is all I'm going to get. But if I come out of there today after 5 months and I make it past 181 days, I get sick. And during that 181 days, I was able to perform 5 of 6 activities of daily living, and I did not need help. I didn't have home care coming in a few days a week, but he could still perform 5 of the 6. Nope. He can't be getting any help. I can't be getting any help from anyone, and I have to be able to perform 5 of the 6 ADLs. If I can do that, when I came out of that nursing home after 5 months and I make it 181 days and I have a relapse and then I qualify again with 2 ADLs or cognitive impairment, now bucket 2 becomes available. Now they're never going to pay in one sitting, one sickness, they're never going to pay more than 360 days at one time. I used 5 months. I have 7 months left. But since I went 181, I get to take 5 months that I use out of bucket 1. I get to take it out of 2, put it in bucket 1. Now I'm back up to 360 days or 12 months again. I know that's a lot to comprehend, but we're trying to find, there was a 10-minute video, if any of you've seen it in the past, that explains it. We're going to try to find that. We couldn't find it on the website, but it explains it in a slow, methodical way on how it works. We're going to try to find that and get it out to you guys.
Jamie, I appreciate you being thorough on that, but we do have quite a few questions.
Okay, let's go.
We're going to rapid fire a couple of these.
Yeah.
So on the RX benefit, $300 max per policy or per person. If a client has 2 plans, can they turn the $300 into a $600 drug benefit?
No, great question. No, no, you cannot. It is a person maximum. So it's just like if you had 2 recovery care plans at $700 each. That wouldn't pay, right? You can't have 2 plans that both pay $700 a day each. That'd be $1,400. Just like you can't have 300 and 300. That's 600. So it's a maximum.
Perfect. Why would someone write the old recovery care when we have the new one? I'll take a stab at this one. The old recovery care product is going to be sunset 60 days after the new product launches in your respective state. So
Correct.
If your state is not going to have the new recovery care choice until March, you are not going to lose it until 60 days after that. But no one will be losing recovery care. There's not going to be a gap in product for anyone. What is considered memory care?
You have nursing facilities out there that they label their care memory care. I fought for that one because I wanted people to know in certain areas it is called that. And it's really just It's just someone in the nursing facility with memory loss. It's just called memory care. It's just really a title, but I wanted to make sure it was in there because I've been asked that before. Hey, does it cover memory care? Yes, it does. Well, it doesn't say that. Well, now it says it.
The bed reservation, is that still 10 days lifetime of the policy?
Yes, correct.
How does the Part B excess charges get claimed / paid?
So it's not going to be, it's not like a Medicare supplement where it's automatically, it goes through Medicare and then it shoots over to us. Doesn't do that. It would have to be manually filed just like a nursing facility claim. And remember, it's not going to pay the 15% excess charges unless they're charged. And I want to make sure we've told agents for many, many years, hey, 99.9% of the time, there are no excess charges. But agents still are like, yeah, but maybe. Well, that's why Aetna did that. If they do get charged, it's going to pay the excess. But if they don't get charged, it's not going to pay anything. So you don't want to file a claim and it says, hey, it's been rejected.
You touched on this one earlier, but maybe just a short reminder. Are these additional add-ons and riders available in all states?
They are not available in all states. I know for a fact, Missouri, it's going to look a lot like the regular recovery care, but with the higher maximums. There may be one rider on there. I know Kentucky is going to have some. They haven't sent me that yet. Texas might have a little bit of a different thing, but the majority of states are going to have all of that. That's why I say, please, when you log in next week on the 9th or 10th, I want you to, how to go in there and look up supplies. Go straight to the outline of coverage. Well, the brochure should have it too. But the outline of coverage, I would download both, read them, know what's counted, know what benefit is there, know what benefit is not there. So you don't accidentally pitch it and then they think they have it.
And it's also when you're on the website based on the zip code, it's going to tell you what riders are available, correct?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Did you hear that?
Other questions or did I miss something?
Did you hear the question from Larry just now?
Oh, no. I was totally cut out. Sorry,
okay.
Larry.
Sorry about that. Yeah. I mean, so the other thing is, I know a lot of the agents will actually show, they work with their clients while they're in the system. So when they put that zip code in there.
Larry, can you hear me?
Yeah.
For some reason, he can't hear you.
Yeah.
Larry, so.
You know my question, not question, but I'm just trying
I'm not getting in.
I'm going to relay it for Jamie.
Sorry.
So
that's so weird. Anyway, yeah. So what the point I'm trying to bring up is that when they log into the system and they put in the zip code, it's going to show what riders are available in that area.
So his question, Jamie, you can hear me, right?
Yes.
When we're logged into the e-app where we have to quote it within the actual agent e-app until March and we get the quote and enroll, when I enter a zip code in there, it's only going to show me the riders that are available in that zip code and or state, right?
Correct.
So it's not going to show, if we're quoting in Missouri, it's not going to show you some of those extra riders because they're not going to be available in Missouri.
Correct. That is exactly right. Hope everyone heard that. It's kind of nice not to have to hear Larry.
It's just, it's personal. I feel like it is.
My swim buddy.
Everybody else can hear Larry.
Kidding, Larry. Kidding, Larry.
Let's keep these moving. Do you have to be on claim for it to pay the excess charges?
No, you do not.
40-year-olds have cheaper rates, correct?
Correct.
Everything's age rated. So now that we can write this on younger folks, there's even more reason to talk to your clients to lock in those rates earlier in life. So they're paying lower premiums over the course of the lifetime of that policy.
No smoking rate. There's no male female rate. It's all one rate. Smoking doesn't even matter. They don't care.
You briefly touched on this, so maybe just a very quick reminder. Will premiums ever go up?
So the way it works is like this. Yes, premiums, they have the right to increase the premiums, but it's important to know what that means. They cannot just raise a premium on one individual. They would have to raise it for the entire state, and they would have to go to the Department of Insurance, show them why they need a rate increase, and then it's up to the state on what that rate increase, if it's approved or not. Now, looking at the track record of Continental Life Aetna since '96, they've had short-term care plans in place. Nursing facility care was the first one. Home Care Plus, or just home care, was one of the first ones. They've never had a rate action to increase any premiums on any of those plans since 1996, their inception. Can they go up? Yes. Is it likely? No. That's why, they got to jump through a whole lot. They can't just say, hey, we're going to raise the state. We're losing money, or we want to make more money. They can't do it.
So in other words, we have to explain it exactly like we have to explain long-term care policies.
Oh, I can't hear.
Yep. For whatever reason, Jamie can't hear the other folks, so I'll relay the questions. And this is, again, why I ask folks to type stuff into chat so we can make sure we get them out there.
Sorry, guys.
Debbie, do you mind repeating that for me just one more time?
I said, so in other words, we do need to explain a potential of rate increases exactly how we would do it on a long-term care policy.
Or exactly how
we
you would
cannot
do
guarantee
it,
them specifically.
or exactly how you would do it on Cigna's cancer, heart, stroke products that we've sold for over a decade, exactly how you would explain it on the hospital indemnity plans. The carriers reserve the rights to file rate increases with the states if they can prove it is necessary. But again, Aetna's track record, they design these products to make sure in a way to mitigate or make it very unlikely. And they haven't had to on their short-term care products to date since the mid-90s when they initially launched those. How are the base add-ons applied to existing policies?
How are the base add-ons? What's that mean?
So the answer to that is they're not. The new riders are not retroactively added on to recovery care plans. This is a brand new product called Recovery Care Choice. The old products are grandfathered as recovery care products. The new product does not impact or change the grandfathered existing benefit that people have in force today. Guaranteed. Go ahead, Jamie.
Sorry. I just want to say, and just remember the maximums. For instance, Texans, this is important for Texas. The first go Recovery Care doesn't have the home care rider on it. Now Recovery Care Choice got approved to have the home care rider on inside the plan. So in the state of Texas, we have home recovery care, which goes up to $3,000 per week. You cannot sell that home care rider, attach it to a Recovery Care Choice, and go over a maximum in Texas, for Texas only, is $3,000. On the policy itself, you can go up to $2,100, but if they have other home care, you cannot go over, for Texas only, that $3,000 maximum. It's a state maximum. So they can have 5 policies as long as they all add up to 3,000 or less. That's fine, but you can't max out all the benefits together. I know that's a lot of words, but we'll come back to that one and answer that later and give you more detail. Yeah.
Guaranteed renewable, how does that affect if you have used your initial period of care 360 days before the second period of care can be accessed? So if you use bucket 1 and let's say they don't recover or are not able to come out of care, what do they do in that situation? Does Aetna auto cancel it?
No, they'll never auto cancel. Because think about this, there's other benefits on there that they can use. Even if they have like the all those base benefits, the 15%, the drug benefit, those are all benefits they could use. So it would be on the insured or the insured's family to say, you know what, well, this isn't worth it. We're going to go ahead and cancel it. They would have to formally cancel it.
When can we order brochures, or will they be sent to us in the email? The brochures will be available through Aetna's agent portal on the first day they're available for sale. The brochures, the outlines of coverage. And to Jamie's very good point, please go and download your respective states when it does become available. Review those materials for any state nuances that may be there.
I just read that one. The insured, well, there's no waiver of premium. They'll always pay for their premium even while they're using the policy.
Will the inflation rider cause periodic premium increases?
That's what I was saying before. No, they have no plans on that causing any issues as far as premium goes, rate increases in the future. We asked that one. I think somebody came up with that question the other day, and I asked the people that put it together, actuaries, that's the word. I asked that, the head actuary, it is not to make the premiums go up at all. You can add that. It's not going to make a difference. Remember, they couldn't raise just the people with inflation protection anyway. They'd have to raise everyone, and they have no plans to do that with inflation.
Is Aetna trying to get into California? I can take that one if you want.
Yep.
Short answer is yes, they're always trying to get into states they're not in. They're trying to get into Florida. They're trying to get into California, but those states, it's more of a DOI issue than a carrier issue, and it's going to continue to be an uphill battle. But Aetna does make attempts and have conversations with those states every single year. And with the new product, I'm sure those are going to continue.
Yep, they will.
Are premiums still locked in at client's age when they get the policy? Yes. Again, that's why it's important to talk to your clients when they're younger, because they can lock in at those premium ages for longer. This is an issue age policy. So whatever the premiums are when they issue, that's what they are, unless there is a class action rate increase against the entire state, which can only be done if that DOI approves it, and they are going to require the carrier to prove it.
Right.
And in fact, some of you already know this, but for those of you who produce in the state of North Carolina, Aetna had to reduce their rates because the state knew that they should be charging a little bit lower based on their medical loss ratios. So,
got it.
So far, they're actually going the opposite way, not not increasing.
Yeah.
Let's see. Will we get brochures and personalize them with our name and contact information? So the brochures will be available through the portal in the same format Recovery Care brochures are today. I don't think you can customize them. Jamie?
You cannot customize them as of right now.
Okay, I didn't think so.
That's a request that I wish we could do that, but we'll keep trying.
Can any of these riders be added after the client has already had the policy? So if we issue a policy today, can we go back next month and add some riders?
New policy.
Unfortunately, no.
Requires new policy.
Correct.
So a friend, family member can take care of them. Yes, that was a bullet he covered. It will pay 25% of that benefit. However, I would personally not lean too much on that, because they're thinking they're buying $500 a day. The experience of getting a quarter of that is not going to feel the same. So yes, it will do something where previously it did nothing, but we should always be advising folks to get professional care. That's really what it's ultimately designed for. Jamie, I don't know if you have any other thoughts on that one.
No, I think you said it perfectly. Like I said, it makes them feel good to know that is a choice they have. And that's why, hey, Recovery Care choice. They always have that choice of having family, friend. I think that is the sell right there. When it comes down to it and you get the phone call, you can advise them, hey, you ought to just get the 3 visits and take the whole $2,100 if that's what they picked, and then distribute the money any way you want. But yeah, I like that the benefit makes them feel good, and it's going to pay exactly what it says. It's going to pay 25%, and they'll probably love getting $500 a week if they have the max 25%. That's going to be a little over $500 a week they get.
Is the friends and family an either or benefit? The example used was $1,000 weekly in home health care. If the 25% or 250 goes to friends and family, do they still get the remaining 750 to pay certified?
No, they do not. They forego that for the 25%. That's why I was saying it's better for them to use professionals that 3 hours a week on separate
Yep.
days and get all the money. But no, great questions, guys.
What about rehab facilities?
What are we asking on that? What about them?
Not a whole lot more detail than that. So if someone wants to clarify that particular question in chat, we'll come back to that one.
The rehab, you do not have to be in a nursing facility, of course. You can perform all your ADLs. That's fine, or you don't have to. But that outpatient rehab is just like what's on the hospital indemnity. You do not have to be confined to anything.
Again, because these are issue age products, because they're locked in at that age when they purchase it, we should never be canceling a underlying short-term care policy. We would be going back and offering an additional new policy under Recovery Care Choice. We can just never exceed the individual policy maximum. So if the new maximum is $700 a day, and they currently have $300 a day, Aetna will not issue another $500. They will only issue the $400 variance to get them up to the individual policy maximum threshold, which is $700 a day. Additionally, you're potentially putting that client at risk because they will have to go through underwriting again. God forbid something happens, it doesn't issue, now they've lost coverage. And lastly, you are impacting another agent's renewal commissions, which if you review your agent agreement is a no-no here at AMBA. So please make sure we're not canceling underlying policies. Are there any guaranteed issue ages for any of this?
No.
That answer is
no.
Can we get the slide, the projected cost of long-term care? I will work with Jamie to get some of these slides and work with the education team to get them kind of reformatted in an amplified way and get them out for you guys. Can we get all the underwriting guidelines spelled out completely, please? He did cover the underwriting questions are not changing at all from a health perspective. No new questions are being added. It's the same stuff on the application you have today. It's just going to have the new name and the new benefit limits on it next week.
Yep.
Can we get the guidelines in writing for how they qualify for restoration of benefits? Again, we'll put that on some of that language from the slide out together. But again, this is also covered within the outline of coverage. I would always refer clients to some of those specific legal definitions.
And
If
I
they
will
qualify-
try. Sorry,
ahead, Jamie.
Jacob. I would like if we can ever get something put in writing, like a one-pager on how that works. I'll work on trying to get something like that to get Aetna to do it. So, yep. Sorry, Jacob. Go already.
Nope. Appreciate that clarity. If they qualify for the base questions, are there any rider exclusions? Are there any additional health questions for any of the riders? As I'm going to suss out what they were trying to get past there.
Nope. Same questions, just answer them all the way you normally do. There's not an extra question on it.
This is a scenario. Someone is asking for verification. I was told that if a person has a facility benefit of $400 a day for 360 days initially, and they used 60 days, then recovered and came off for 180 days, that bucket then had 300 days left, or would it replenish to the 360? So it'll be 300 and 360.
Need to hear it again. Sorry.
No worries. That was a little bit longer of a scenario.
No, I know. And that's why I know it's hard for you guys to follow it when I say it.
So in this scenario, the facility benefit is $400 a day for 360 days initially. They used 60 days and then recovered. So let's say hip replacement probably has about a 60-day recovery. They come off claim for 180 days, meaning they're eligible to tap into that next bucket. Would that next bucket only be 300 days, or does it refill to 360? what happens to the leftover days of
would
bucket
get-
one?
It would get, bucket one, you're still going to be using, but they can access the 2 months that they used. So it's going to be back up to 360 days. It's replenishing it all the way up to the maximum. If they use 3 months, then it would replenish those 3 months because they made it past that 180 days. So it just cannot go over that. But you're always using your first bucket until that's completely gone, and you can use the second bucket just to keep replenishing as many times as you go the 180 days where you can perform.
We need
5 to 6.
clarification on one thing. I think I may have misstated something that you had said, so clarity around this. And if we need to follow up and answer it in the FAQ, we can do that as well. Do Aetna Med Sups count towards the multi-policy discount or no?
They do.
Medicare supplements do. Medicare Advantage plans do not.
Correct.
So all Aetna ancillary products, that includes Medicare supplements, cancer, heart, stroke, hospital indemnity, and the Ascendo final expense plans are all Aetna products that are in the agent commission schedules today that you guys can sell. I do want to clarify that multi-policy discount is applied on the new Recovery Care Choice. It is not also equally applied to the supporting multi-policy. So it will not be applied on that HI, that MedSup, or anything like that.
You got it.
And this was a pretty exciting one you clarified with me, Jamie, earlier this week, but existing short-term care products qualify for that multi-policy discount.
They do.
So if they have an underlying recovery care and we go add Recovery Care Choice, that would meet the multi-policy discount threshold. Will the current recovery care plans be available in Pennsylvania and Maryland until Recovery Care Choice is approved?
Oh, yeah. Yep.
No recovery cares are going away until that new product is there. No one is losing a product they have access to today.
Yep. And I don't want to say a negative, but if for some reason something did not get approved for the Recovery Care Choice, a state didn't do it, you would never lose the recovery care. They're never going to get rid of that. You don't have to worry about that.
Jacob and Jamie, before you go past this question, it was the previous question talking about the 15% discount.
I can't hear whoever's talking. I know you're listening.
I can hear you, Nancy. I'll repeat it to him.
On an existing recovery care, when we do the quote,
So weird.
will is the quote ask if there's other multi-policies? Or
That's a
how will
great-
that 15% reflect in the quote?
That's a great question. So Jamie, I'm actually going to ask it two ways. So since the mobile quoting app will not be available for the product until March, we'll first ask it within the agent portal quoting. Is there going to be a spot within that to click multi-policy discount so it applies the 15%? Are we going to need to take out a calculator and figure out the 15% ourselves? How does that work?
That is a great question. I'm sure the button will be. Let me find that out. I don't want to guess. The button should be there to where it should automatically do it, but I do not know the answer to that. It's the first time I've heard that one.
Well, it figures. No, the concern I have is when I'm quoting
So-
someone and we're selling the 15%, they're
We
going
wanna
to
be
want to know
accurate
that
in
the
what we're telling them.
15% is in the price we're
Oh,
telling
for
them.
sure.
100%. Yeah. So we'll get a follow-up and an answer there, and we'll put that on the FAQ that gets sent out. Do we have a specific claim form for the prescription drug benefit?
No, you will have, this plan will have its own claim form. Recovery Care Choice will have its own claim form, but it will have all that on there for any benefit that you have. Well, pet boarding, it'll all be the same same claim form.
How does the family care affect the amount going back into the bucket between claims?
Let's say you have 52 weeks of home care. Let's just say it's maxed out at $2,100 per week. If you use 4 weeks of family and friends, that week is gone. So just it doesn't matter if it's 25% or $2,100. That week has been used up, never to return again. If you do tap into your second bucket, you're still okay. It's gonna replenish your weeks. But then if you use family and friends again, you're using the 25% that week. You're foregoing the 2,100. Does that work? Everybody? Yeah.
If not, we'll put it back into the bottom and
Yes.
we'll come back to
And
it.
and Jacob, anything that we can answer, I'm putting down the button for the discount. So I make sure I find that out. Auto calculate. Okay.
Next question we have, is Aetna working on an easier way for our retirees to file a claim? I talked to them a little about that this weekend.
Yep, you go ahead. I'll tell you what I know.
The short answer is yes, they recognize that there is additional work that needs to be done there. They are working on some digital solutions that are hopefully coming later this year. I think the timeline I was given was somewhere between 3 to 6 months, but with IT things, it can vary a little bit once they get into the weeds. Jamie, clean me up there if I need to.
No, that was exactly what I was going to say. So you, they know that they need to get their claims game up quite a bit. It's nothing that it's told to them all the time, and we're fighting to get it better, but they are actually, what Jacob said is true. They put themselves on a timeline of getting it all more digitized and whatever. I mean, we would love it if we could just take a picture of the claim and send it in. That's the ultimate. I'm not saying that's what they're going to have in 6 to 8 months, but that's what we're pushing them towards is just something that's easy for the agents and the clients so we can get these things filed and they're not missing pages. We know it's aggravating.
So that you guys could be in the client's home instead of having to go out and fax something. You can take a picture with your cell phone, upload it into the member portal, and help them complete submitting those claim documents. They're also working on improving the visibility as well as the current status of where that claim is as well. That way, everyone, including the policyholder and the agent, both can very easily, readily assess from a visual perspective that documents received, documents processing, additional documents needed. That way everyone has just a little bit more visibility and we're not going through the unfortunate exercise of faxing something in, asking if they received it, no one can find it, having to fax it again. So they are working to improve all of that. They know that is a uncomfortable experience.
Yeah, that was a big topic this past week. So, and giving you, as Jacob just said, giving you access to your own client, how a lot of times they won't give you information because you're not the client. We're trying to rectify that one too. So you all can, you're supposed to be their trusted advisor and you need to have some of that information for the client.
Yep. Aetna already backed off of that. It's just they need to operationalize that and get it out of their SOPs, but 100% they're allowing agents back into that conversation.
Great. I'm going to take my hand down then, because when you're on the line with your client and your client has to hear that the person on the other end does not know what they're talking about based on these trainings, and then you have to backpedal from that and they're looking at you like you lost your mind.
I wish I could hear.
Hey, Jamie.
I'll relay to Jamie what she said a little bit later.
Sorry. I don't know what it is.
Let's see, the next one in line here. If someone is in the facility for 370 days, then recovers and stays healthy enough for at least the 180 days, meaning we're eligible for bucket 2.
Yep.
Are they still eligible for the second bucket of 360 days?
Sure. Yep. I mean,
Just
it's
the
not
180
gonna
day.
yeah.
The 180 day clock starts at day 370 and not day 360. That would be the only nuance in that example.
Yeah.
Where does the benefit for home modification come from? Is it from the total max benefit or a separate pool of benefits? It's a separate indemnity benefit.
Correct.
right?
It's a separate rider. They're actually paying for it. So that's a whole separate thing. And like I said, they don't want any of the bills. They're just going to pay the $2,500 and say, hey, that benefit's been solved.
You will be able to quote and add on that rider next week, and you'll be able to see its impact and change in price at different ages. Some of the initial information we were getting from Aetna, it looks to be rather affordable. In fact, extremely affordable at almost all ages. We'll obviously have to use a little bit of trial and error and really see, especially at those older ages, it may get up there. But if it is very affordable, $20 to $40 a year for that $2,500 benefit, you guys think about folks recovering from stroke, cancer, needing ramps, things of that nature. That's exactly why that rider was added.
Yep.
Has Aetna considered putting a separate underwriting or customer service group together for AMBA specifically? We had one when we first started the Aetna relationship a couple of years ago. Aetna had to back away from that for some compliance reasons. We are hoping that with the digital overhaul they're making to the claims process and the member experience, that's going to remedy some of that for us.
Agree.
Please go over the in-home care policy after the 360 days, including 720 days.
It works exactly like the nursing facility. We're talking about the buckets again, basically, right?
Yeah.
So it's just weeks instead of days, and it works exactly the same way. Does that help? Again, I know that gets confusing for everyone, and it's just one of those things we need to keep talking about it, and then it's going to go, oh, now I get it.
I'm going to jump back into chat. So please, if I didn't ask any that you put in there, please toss it back in there as I'm scrolling through here. See a couple here. How can we ensure that we have the most updated claim form for a particular product? Once Aetna overhauls some of this, that digital experience is going to specifically call out those forms and allow us more easy, readily access to those to download. And they're going to be very clearly named so that we can make sure we're grabbing the right form. So again, all that's being overhauled. Aetna knows that process needs to be improved.
Yep.
I've had several circumstances where the client was told it was the incorrect claim form. I think, again, this is increasing the visibility and the clearness and the instructions around the entire claims process will hopefully remedy some of that. Are you saying some of the riders will go up in price as we age?
No, they do not.
So they're all, whether on 35 or 85, they're the same price?
Correct. Oh, you're asking at initial, you're saying once they have it, the plan, are they going to go up?
No, I'm saying at time of quoting, will the inflation rider be more expensive for an 85-year-old than a 45-year-old? And that should.
I don't know how they would quote that. I would say it'd be more expensive for the younger one and less expensive for the older.
Because they're getting more coverage out of it. Yeah.
Well, when he was saying that.
Well, unfortunately, they're not going to live as long. So their plan isn't going, they're not going to have the benefit of, those compounding years. So it's probably not going to be very expensive, but that's a great question. I don't even know the answer to that. So that's another good one, compound.
So no, the price when you're talking about, you put a rider in, maybe it's for the rehab, maybe it's this or that.
And remember, if you
Jamie, hold on a second. Daughter's asking me a question.
So whatever you quote when that rider is attached in the beginning will not escalate at any time. It's going to stay the same
throughout the
whatever
lifespan
age
of the policy.
You get involved.
Correct. So when you add the home modification rider at point of sale, that's the price. Next year at your first renewal, that's not going to increase in price. Nothing is increasing after the benefit is issued unless there is a class action rate increase on the entire state that the DOI proves through carrier loss ratios.
Okay, I just got confused with
putting my notes in here.
You'll realize that the long-term care companies used to say that too.
One of the new ways to think about this new product when we're able to maximize that new benefit of $700 a day, to Jamie's point, that became a very large annual benefit. If that greatly exceeds the actual cost of care, it doesn't matter because it's an indemnity product. It's paying the client that benefit, which if they're paying more than that care cost, they can then continue to use that lump sum of cash that they have in their hands now to pay once 360 days stops. So that's another way to think about these, and a value out of putting something, a much larger benefit like a $700 a day. Why would somebody do that? Because if they are not able to recover and they need longer periods of care, if they're 75, good chance they're not going to qualify for long-term care. But this is a great way to get a very sizable lump sum cash payment to them that they can then use to pay for care after that 360 days.
Can I ask a quick question related to that, Jacob?
Yeah, go ahead, Katie.
Okay, so if they already have a recovery care plan and then they get the recovery care choice plan, those are two different plans. Sometimes we would want to think, can we combine those two? And the probable answer is yes. Let's pull that apart and say, can we separate the two? And a person claims on a recovery care and then a year later claims on the recovery care choice, never having that 180-day separation, question mark.
It's a good question. I'm pretty sure I know the answer, but I'll toss it to Jamie for clarification here. So if we have a active recovery care policy and we file a claim on that one and we use that for the 360 days, we do not recover, then we file on the recovery care choice. Can we get consecutive time there? Do they both pay out with one claim? They both get triggered?
Yeah,
Must
I
use
would,
them together
I
or
would
not?
say, don't wait for the next year. Just file them both at the same time. They're both
But
gonna
what if
pay.
they don't want to do it that way?
What if they don't want to file them both at the
Oh,
same time?
they don't have
They
to.
want 2 years of coverage.
They don't have to.
What if they want 2 years of coverage? Is that truly how that would
So
work?
they can have recovery care and recovery care choice.
Use 360 days in the
guess-
facility on recovery for $300 a day, and then another 360 days on recovery care choice for $300 a day. We haven't exceeded the individual policy maximum.
You could do it. Yep.
It's
You can do that.
720, it's two policies. Okay.
And it
How
will
will
pay
you do that when
consecutively.
you have 6 months pre-existing?
I
So
hear.
you can't, that 6 months is going to show that they still they've been in a facility, so it won't apply. So how can you get that coverage to pay on
No,
the second? It
because-
sounds good on paper, but when you go to
But
underwriting,
they don't have
I'll
any
see-
pre-existing, Dottie.
Yeah,
If
no.
they don't have any
Because
pre-existing.
remember, all they care about, they would pay for the same year, so they're not going to care. I mean, that it's a second year. They don't care. When you start that claim and say, hey, January 1st, I got my money from January 1st, 2026 to December 31st, 2026. Now I want to use my other policy and I didn't come out. I'm still in there. That's fine. You can use that policy for 2027, January 1st to December 31st, 2027.
Thank you.
You can use
I
that.
love that answer, but I would like to see that in writing, please.
I
To be
don't
honest,
blame
why
you.
are we not writing a
What's
long-term
in-
care then?
What's in writing is the truth.
Right.
Anybody can
This
tell
is
you
probably
anything.
cheaper.
Oh, I'm hearing everyone now.
It depends, because Deborah, if you've already sold somebody something and then
Oh,
you
this
you
is
know,
pretty good.
they weren't
Oh,
doing.
That would
long-term
be
no, I'm
amazing,
not.
but I definitely
can
want to
get
see
more
that in
long-term
writing.
care.
Make that a number one question, please.
Okay, so Dorothy, I can hear. Katie, I can't. Jacob, can I hear you
It's
still?
easier to qualify for this than it is long-term care, Deborah.
No,
I know.
somebody
I know.
left and it's whoever's in the bottom left of my screen I can hear. So weird. Well,
Amazing. Hey,
Dorothy,
Well, I
Jamie.
know,
oh, I hear you.
appreciate everybody's patience. Yes, we will get an answer to that and put it into the follow-up FAQ. I know, appreciate everybody being patient. We're a little bit over time. Jamie, appreciate you hanging out with us a little bit extra. I think we just have a couple questions left. And again, we're going to capture all this and get it out for you guys so you can review it and make sure your leadership has it so they can talk about it with you guys as well. Bonnie Jean King stated the home recovery care, no home care products are sunsetting. Home Care Plus is not going away and home recovery care is not going away.
Yep.
Although home recovery
Jacob?
care is only in the state of Texas. Yep.
You skipped my question a second time. I was the one who
Great
asked about
questions, everyone.
if someone is in a rehab floor of a regular hospital, because someone on our team had a nursing facility claim just denied because they said rehab floor on a regular hospital is not a rehab facility.
So the question, did you hear that one, Jamie?
No, I didn't.
So if someone is in a rehab floor of a regular hospital, can that count towards a nursing facility? Because we had one recently that was denied because it was not a nursing facility.
Yeah, it would be the same. It would not be, they would not take that because it's in the hospital, within the hospital. Now, if you had the hospital indemnity attached to it, it would pay like a hospital. You get what I'm saying?
Like the hospital indemnity portion of the policy.
Right,
But the
right.
hospital
It's
indemnity
just
might
not
only
the,
cover
not
So,
inside the
up
hospital.
to 10 days.
Nancy,
Jacob.
let's take that one offline.
Yes,
I
sir.
bet if we
Got
do
it.
a little bit of research, that hospital is spin selling some stuff and they are not a accredited licensed skilled nursing facility. I may be wrong, but I'm sure that's what Aetna's issue is. And if it is, and we can prove that, I'm happy to go to Aetna and fight that for
Oh,
you.
yeah, yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
But I'm willing to bet it's the former bucket.
If you don't
So
mind,
you're saying
can-
rehab would be covered if it was in a nursing facility that is state accredited?
right,
Is that
it'd be a
correct?
nursing facility. If they're outpatient, have to be an outpatient rehab. Inpatient would have to be a nursing facility or assisted living facility.
Okay.
And Jacob, can you ask Nancy what that, was it Nancy that said that? What was the name of that? Because I think I've had this question. Was it a
That
couple of months ago?
No, yeah, it just happened recently with Haiti Gonzalez on our team because I talked to her about it just within the last week or two, and she told me that she had been helping to dispute a claim and it finally got denied because the hospital, it was in a hospital and they were told all she could get was hospital indemnity if she had that, which she didn't have.
Caitlin, your daughter's a doll.
Thank you. If you can
Oh, you're
hear.
welcome. I can't hear you, but I saw it.
She said, thank you, Jamie.
Yeah.
Nancy, if you don't mind, ask Katie to send you the details around that, or if you
Yeah,
know
I'm
it's-
right here, if you can hear me.
Yeah, do you remember the name of that hospital? Maybe Jamie
Yes,
can take that
it's
offline.
Yeah.
Gottlieb Medical Center. And what they do is one of their floors is a nursing home. In the hospital complex, it's a nursing home, but the floor that the person was on their acute stroke rehab. And since that's not, they said that's not the license, they weren't on the floor of the nursing home portion, even though the name of the building says nursing home rehab. That's why it was denied.
I can
Because
hear
it
her.
was a certain floor.
I can hear you. What was the name of the hospital?
Gottlieb Memorial Hospital and Nursing Home. And they were on the rehab floor for stroke, acute stroke. So that's what they ended up determining
Okay.
because they weren't on the nursing home floor.
So would
There
that
was
be
one.
covered under the Part A? Like Medicare Part
Well,
A or
Could
their,
be possible, but it's not the fact
I
of the
mean-
recovery care. We're trying to get the recovery care benefit out of it, which it didn't qualify for.
Yeah, yeah. That's a great point on the Part A, and I'm sure it did pay, but I know what you're saying. Yeah, if they got the coverage, it would double pay anyway. But no, they're very strict on, it has to be a facility for that. Now, there was one that Kevin called me on a couple of months ago, and it wasn't Gottlieb. It was another one just like that, and I actually called the hospital, and when it all came together, it was not a nursing facility. Because it was sounded like it was, but it was not. And because I want to know about those, Jacob, you can call me anytime and I'll do the investigating. Because I need to know if those things are covered or not. Yeah.
I was just informed in Arizona, because I had a client that moved down there from up here,
Can't hear
that
Dorothy.
all of their nursing facilities, they don't have to be registered with the state. So they're not licensed like that. So what would you do in that case?
Dottie is saying in the state of Arizona, they do not require state accreditation to be considered a skilled nursing facility. So what occurs in those situations? So you're saying like Jacob Nursing Home Company, and I'm not a licensed facility, will Aetna pay it?
Okay, so it's just like there's some states where you don't have home care is that way. If the state doesn't require it, typically Aetna will not require it.
Okay. Typically, is that
I
like
know
usual
I can't
and
hear, but she wants to
customary?
see it in writing.
Yeah. Is that like usual and customary with Medicare?
I can't
That's
hear.
scary.
She said, is that like usual and customary with Medicare? That's scary. We'd like to see that in writing.
Okay, I got you. Yeah,
Another one we will take away.
Yeah, that was from experience. Just so you know, I want to say it was, I don't remember. Michigan. There was something in Detroit. I think because there was a home health care agency. They go, we don't have to be licensed, something like that. And Aetna told me back then, no, we don't require it if the state doesn't. So
if there's a specific example of that, shoot it to me offline and we'll follow up and just get confirmation on it.
Put that in my notes.
Dottie, I see in chat you said, what is the amount if someone's 65 is 65 with maxed out benefits? You're saying what is the rate?
Yeah, because he sent something that was like $300 or $100. I want to see somebody that's older that maxes out this policy so I can kind of get an idea of what a rate would look like. Because if, as Katie had stated, if you have the one plan and then we could tag this next one on, this starts looking totally different to me and how it would actually market that. But I want to know what a maxed out benefit looks if they just wanted a max.
Pricing will be available to quote on day one it comes out. So I would say we'll be able to do that example in just a couple of days. See, Mark is commenting on someone else. Boren, no one should do that. Get all the money back in the bank. No one has 2 cancer policies on file. I think we've addressed most of those outstanding questions. I'll kind of open it up right now for anyone if you want to take yourself off mute and ask a question. And if Jamie can't hear you, I'm happy to relay if you want to put it in chat.
So there was a question in there that I saw that I really was interested in. If somebody buys the base level, the cheapest one, the $17 plan, can they still reimburse the $300 of prescription drugs every year?
So, Jamie, they just re-added that question in the bottom of chat, but if someone you showed an example in your presentation of a very inexpensive plan option that was only about $17 a day. If the client, if they just purchased that plan, are they still able to max out the prescription rebate to $300? Are there any limitations on the prescription drug if we have $100 a day, $200 a day, or $700 a day?
No, I mean, Aetna does have a minimum premium, and I think it's $15 a month. I think that's a minimum premium that they have. No, as long as you're at that or over it, they're going to get $300. Pays for itself or more.
Melissa, I see your hand go up. You're still on mute. Appreciate everybody's patience out there and hanging out with us. Again, feel free to put some questions in the chat if anything's still on top of your mind.
I'm sorry, I couldn't find the unmute. I just want to make sure I understand the second bucket. Okay, so let's say someone goes on claim for 3 months and then thank you. Then they go 180 days not needing care. So then bucket 1 gets refilled. But then there's still 3 remaining months in bucket 2. Do they have to wait another 180 days to access that final? Okay.
Yep. They're never going to get more than 360 per, if that's what they have is their maximum, they're never going to get more than the 360 if that's what their maximum is. And that 2 months that's left in bucket 2, They would need to come out another 180 days, be certified, qualify again, then they get their 2 months again.
That's really hard to do.
Well, I mean,
I mean, the young
is.
people, but okay, no, just I finally understood that. Thank you.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's why I say we got to keep talking it through. I changed the view of the gallery. I don't know if that unlocked it. See if somebody else talks.
I'll put someone on the spot out there. Leo, you always do a good job challenging me in areas we haven't thought of. So I know you got a question or two out there.
Hey, buddy.
Oh, I
How you
hear
doing,
him.
Jacob?
I hear him.
Good to see you.
Hey, Jamie. Thanks again for everything today. Sounds like a wonderful product. I think you guys have answered all the questions I've put into the chat. One thing, if we use, say in home care, we use the first 52 weeks, they get paid out, they recover. We use the second bucket, 52 weeks, they recover. You can't continue doing that.
Correct.
It's 2 buckets, not 3 or more.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Good.
Here's a
Again, great
question.
question.
Here's a question. If they use all the home care rider or some modification of some other rider, does that rider then get removed and they don't have to keep paying the premium for it?
Did you hear that one, Jamie?
Yeah, if they use up all the rider.
So if I use my home modification, the entire 2,500 gets paid out. Does the price of that rider then get removed off my premium moving forward?
Yeah, they would take that off. Yeah, you could take that rider off.
So
That's a good question. I'll verify. I know that that's the way it works, but I will verify that, and I believe that.
Because like in the home care, that especially if it's a $2,100 rider, that could be a pricey rider. And if someone's used it all and they have nothing left, is it incumbent upon them to ask for that to be removed, or does it just happen?
Right. And that's really my question, because you can have any rider removed. If you want it removed, you don't have to keep a rider. You just can't add it, right? But will that automatically be done?
Hey, Jacob, Jamie, I did have one question.
I knew it.
We all knew it. There may be another one coming.
That's why I called on you, Leo.
I know, brother. So if somebody's got a recovery care plan now and we add another one, like we can take 15% off the new one. The 15% doesn't come off the existing premium, right?
Correct.
If somebody's got a recovery care plan now and we sold them an Aetna Cancer Heart Stroke, we'd have 15% off the Cancer Heart Stroke. Is that right?
Yeah. The multi-policy discount only applies onto the recovery care choice plan. It does not apply onto whatever the supporting multi-policy plan is. So if it's a HIP plan, it's not applying that 15% to the HIP plan. It's not applying it to a cancer heart stroke or the Med Sup for that matter.
Right.
I thought I had a good idea. Actually, I thought Chris had a good idea. Never mind. Thanks.
No, that's sneaky. I like it.
Jim Kane, I see your face out there. You're one of the top short-term care riders in the country, not just with AMBA. Any questions come to mind for you? He walked away. I scared him away.
That was great.
Anybody else out there?
Oh, he got his envelope. Oh, no.
Uh-oh, he's breaking out.
I have a question. So how seamless does it go if they start out in a facility, then need to go home, or vice versa? There's separate buckets of benefits, but then they don't renew, like there's never that 180 days. So it's just then 1 year at home, 1 year at a facility.
Right.
Okay.
Yep. And, I've explained many times on that plan, especially if the kids are there, that this really gives you a plan. Of course, you're going to want to bring your mom home or your dad home. This gives you a year to figure out what's going on. And if they don't recuperate enough to where when that year is ending, you can take them to the nicest assisted living facility down the street from where you live. And if, God forbid, they get worse from that, the balance of that year, they can go to any nursing facility. And I mean, it really is a wraparound plan.
Here's a question regarding the claim thing, especially for people who have longer terms. Because, you know, the claim process is so onerous to begin with. If they're going to be in there and it looks like it's going to be months, should they, and this is always retroactive, right? So what is the best way to advise them to handle it? Should they file the claim weekly, monthly?
Oh,
And then what if there's all these other things that are going on in the meantime, like they do a home modification or they do a pet boarding or they do, I mean, just thinking of the paperwork is making my hair want to fall out.
Well,
you know?
that's the deal with adding more riders, right? It gets more complicated, but one claim form for all. I mean, they can file it as many times, they can file it weekly, they can file it monthly, they can file it annually, every quarter. They can do it any way they like. Now, you all know this, the first claim is always the hardest. That just goes without saying. And then the ones that precede that are going to be much easier because they know they're on claim. We're waiting on the next one. It's going to be paid. I mean, monthly, I would not do it less than monthly, but if they need the money, then I think they should do it. But filing all the little riders and this and that, they can file it as often as they want, or they can wait. And we also talked to Aetna this week about, you know, if somebody realizes, hey, mom had a policy 4 or 5 years ago, it should pay that. We want verification that it would pay if they found the policy 5 years later, you know, and they were in the nursing home. Even if they passed away, it should pay on it. So we're getting verification on that too. Not
And
to
you know
bring
what?
up a different thing, but
Jamie,
yeah.
this is just a suggestion for another time, but if we could have a training for ourselves on the whole claims process, like what can we do
How to help a
make
client file
this
a claim.
better? Because we waste, and I see Leo nodding, I know he does it, Dottie does it, Haiti does it, I do it. We waste so much time. And I've literally had people crying on the phone to me.
Oh,
They
yeah.
can't, and trying to fax 200 pages of documents or mail it or upload it. We just need to be able to get a better handle on how we can help them.
Totally with you and agree. And I think, Jacob, if you've got time, let's me, you, and Kevin jump on a call and we can set up an hour and get a couple of them in there and really do a full big meeting on it. I mean,
If
maybe
we could do a better job ourselves with our clients, that's got to translate into a much better experience on the Aetna side. So everybody would benefit from that.
And
Absolutely.
you know,
That's
maybe
something we can put together.
Maybe we do like a quarterly thing where they can see every one of your faces. I'm just spitballing here.
We can like,
And again, it wouldn't be a long meeting, but maybe do after the first one, we do like 30-minute quarterly meetings or an hour quarterly meeting.
I'll
I
give you
think
a
that would be
perfect
good.
Here's a perfect example, Jamie. Just today, I've got someone who's going to have a big claim, and I was bringing up to him that he can file it on the web portal, and he goes, well, how do I do that? And I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
That
I have no idea.
that came up, and I mean, we're even trying to get you access to their portal because I said, listen, a lot of times I've done it where, hey, Miss Jones, let me just open it for you because they haven't even set their account up. So I set it up for them, and that can't be right. I shouldn't be able to have access to that unless Aetna says, yeah, the agent that wrote it can have access to it. So we are working on all of those things. So you were right to ask for them.
Hey, I did have one more follow-up question. I told you I was going to have another.
Yeah.
Same day, can I sit with Mr. Miss Jones, write a recovery care choice and a cancer plan on the same day and take the 15% in the recovery care?
Yep.
Same sales meeting.
So And I thought you said that wasn't going to be on the cancer plan. They'd have to have another recovery care or med sub or
any of the ancillaries will qualify to apply the multi-policy discount on the recovery care choice. The
gotcha.
multi-policy
So long as the
discount,
discount is on the recovery care choice. Well, my question, I think my final question from me is that, Jamie, tell me how you would explain to somebody how to maximize usage of the Aetna plan so that they can hit their buckets and they can get the most out of this plan. I just like to hear your scenario.
Well, I honestly, I would do more of what I just said. This is a plan and how they can use it seamlessly from home to assisted living to nursing facility. And they can have any home health care agency. They can go to any assisted living. They can use any nursing facility. Doesn't matter. I really wouldn't get into the buckets unless they came and said, hey, I see this is twice in a lifetime. How does that work? Then I'm going to have to go through and try to help them, right? That's why I would like a one-pager on it. And it's still going to be
We
hard
get that question all the time. And we
Really?
try to explain it. And then when you were talking about maximizing the use, I just want to hear your scenario from just so I know, because I have this
I
plan
would
for myself
say-
too.
I would say here's the first thing I would say if an agent came into me and said, hey, they keep asking me about this. I would say, well, you're bringing it up somewhere for them to ask because I don't get it. And I'm just saying that's what I would say to that agent. So I would say somewhere in the pitch, if you're trying to show them, look how much benefit is in this. It's like long-term care because you can use it in the bucket. I wouldn't get into that because I think that is in the weeds. But because there's really not an easy way. You saw I struggled with this slide where I had one sentence to try to tell you all how it works, and it doesn't do it justice. You really got to keep talking about it. And I'm afraid if it gets too complicated, they're going to feel like they're going to lose confidence in it, and they're not going to want to take it out. They're going to say, let me wait and let me think about that, because that's what you don't want to do. You all know this in sales. You can talk too much, and then they want to think about it.
So don't show that it can go up to 2 times in a lifetime. 'cause
I
that
wouldn't
generally
bring that
triggers
up
it.
at all. If they come in and ask you, I would tell them how much, look, it's going to give you a year. It's 360 days or it'd be long-term care. And tell them why that's stable. I mean, that's a great thing. There's the home care. It's like 2 policies in one. If you had to go into the nursing home and then you wanted to come home, you can do that. You can use the plan any way you want. You can spend a month here and then a month at home. Go back to assisted living, go back to a nursing home, come back home after that. You can use it any way you want. It gives you the choice. And it's first day coverage and it's guaranteed renewable for life. This way you have something protecting your savings. And since we're giving you all the money up front. Because if you look at any long-term care plan, I mean, if it's $300 a day and it's a 3-year plan, you know what it's going to pay out as a maximum. Well, if you look at, if I do that, give you all that money, if I give you if I give you $700 or $600 a day, $700 a day, and I add all that up, I'm giving that to you all up front. You don't have to be in there for those 2 or 3 years. You're going to get everything in the first year. Most people love that. And when you show them, and I think Jacob is right, we need to get a good AMBA graphic that was like that one I showed where it shows you 4 years of assisted living. I mean, at the current rates today, but you got to make sure you clarify with what you're getting today and how much the costs are today. This is how long you could stay in an assisted living facility. And remember, the inflation does apply to that, to the assisted living part. So that would grow. So you could keep that up with in 4 years. I mean, to me, that graphic is going to say everything to them. That'll get you over your bucket because that's one bucket, right? One bucket gives you 4 years if it's maxed out in assisted living.
Well,
So,
Jamie and I would love to spend another couple of hours with you guys this evening talking about all the scenarios. Unfortunately, I do want to be respectful to Jamie's time. He's out on the East Coast, so he's stuck it out pretty late with us. Again, we're going to capture all these FAQs. We're going to get them, work with the education team and make sure they get out to all of your FMLs and TDLs so that you guys have them in your meetings. I'll hang out for the last couple of minutes. Appreciate everybody's time. Have a great evening.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you.
Thank you. Learned a lot with the Q&A.
Hope this was helpful.
It was great, Jacob. Thank you.
Jacob, I created a document.
Thanks, Jacob. This was great. Kelsey, I'm texting you right now.
Okay.
Take a look at your phone.
Okay.
Kelsey, were you saying something else that you needed us, or were you talking to Larry?
Hey, Bonnie.
For Jacob, I created a document for you and I, so I answered what I could, but I think I got every question, and then I'll send it to you. And there's a few that weren't answered, but it's already formatted and it looks good to go.
Bonnie,
Awesome.
I'm getting my voice back, Bonnie.
I'm glad you sound better today, Larry.
So look out for tomorrow. Tomorrow's gonna be a big day.
I'm ready. We'll slay the day.
Yes, we are gonna slay the day. Yes, I'm gonna get one more good night's sleep, and I think I'm back tomorrow. So, but I got a lot of good stuff cooking here, so I gotta finish texting Kelsey here.
Go get them, Larry. Kelsey, I appreciate you. Jacob, that was fabulous training.
Man. Jacob, you have patience. Jacob has patience like no other person I've ever met. Like,
well, see, I'm not going to go that far. I don't know that he's patient, but I think he's fabulous.
Get rattled, though. Like
These aren't the things that rattle me. Bonnie's aware of some of the things that rattles me. And I have,
Larry,
oh my God.
I've been on the receiving end of Jacob, not being patient. So we're just gonna we'll leave that there. And I think he's fabulous. For me. And it was a really good training, Jacob. I appreciate all the time. It was good.
It was excellent.
It was literally